Hello ladies and gentlemen, Gabesty here. This is the Heroic Quick Raid Guide for General Nazgrim. And if you'd like more details about the encounter, you can click on the raid guide at the bottom left there of the screen. So, the first thing to talk about is the new abilities on Heroic. The first of which is Execute, and this is used on the tank that's currently on Nazgrim fairly frequently. It's basically just a very heavy physical damage hit that cannot be dodged or parried or anything. So it's going to hit you, and the best thing you can do is just use minor cooldowns, active mitigation, stuff like that, to help reduce the damage. But otherwise, it's pretty much a negligible effect. So make sure the tanks are topped off in health, and they won't die from it. That's it. The other new ability is a new ad type called the Sniper. This type of ad will target a healer when it appears and mark them. And then this healer receives all attacks from the Sniper until that player dies, and then it will switch. So the best thing to do is to have the healer move into position behind the Sniper so that the facing of the Sniper's shots, such as multi-shot, is not going to hit anyone except the healer that's being targeted. So you can see here in the clip that I'm against the wall, and the Sniper's shots are only going to hit me and not anyone else that's in the rest of the raid. So pretty simple mechanically. The Sniper does a lot of damage, so that healer will need to be dedicated to healing him or herself during this period. Now you'll want to figure out your positioning for the boss as well as the raid before you begin the fight. We found it best to position the boss in the center of the room so that when the ads spawn, ranged DPS and healers are automatically in range. They'll just spawn behind them. And more importantly, the ads will not be close enough to the boss so that the shaman, for example, can drop a totem or easily heal Nazgrim. This allows DPS to intercept the ads well before they're in range of Nazgrim and take care of them quickly. While if you have them too far away, melee DPS can't really reach the ads very quickly. So being in the middle with the boss is a happy medium we found worked really well. You will also want an ad priority setup. So the best thing we found was to focus on the Arcweaver, the mage, first, because his damage scales very quickly and he can kill people if left alone too long. The War Shaman is second priority, and in particular the War Shaman should have at least one player assigned to it so that when it spawns, you can quickly deal with it and interrupt its heals as well as drag it away from its healing tide totem. So we have our DPS warrior assigned to that shaman, and even if there's a mage active, he by himself will deal with the shaman and interrupt it and all that good stuff. So this keeps it away from the rest of the mobs, as well as the boss, and kills it off quickly. Third on the list is Assassin. Make sure the player targeted faces the Assassin, and otherwise it's not a big priority until the other two are dealt with. Next is a Sniper. This is something that your healer that's targeted can deal with pretty much indefinitely. So once the rest of the ads are managed, then DPS kills Sniper. And finally, the Iron Blade is the lowest priority. It should just kind of run toward random raid members, and your tanks, if in the middle of the room, can taunt it and pull it into them so that the DPS can deal with it once they're done with everything else. Now finally, you'll want to figure out how you handle the final ad spawns and the burn phase. So around 15% health, Nazgrim will stop spawning ad waves. And then when he reaches 10%, just like in normal difficulty, he'll spawn one final wave of ads that includes all the ads at once. So in this case, all 5 of them. So you need to figure out how you want to handle this wave. This particular kill was very messy, but we found in subsequent kills that the best way to do it is to simply deal with these ads as long as you have time on the Berserk timer. So we kill off most of them nowadays, and then once they're dead, they're not going to spawn anymore at all. So you're free to deal with the boss after that. But if you don't want to deal with all of them, you can burn the boss down. However, I would recommend especially that you deal with the mage and the shaman in particular, because the mage will kill people very quickly if left alone, and the shaman, of course, has the potential to run in and heal, which would be devastating. So adjust accordingly based on your DPS and how long you have on the Berserk, but dealing with the ads in general is the best way we found. So that's it. The quick raid guide for Heroic General Nazgrim. Very simple fight, one of the easiest heroic encounters in the zone, so I'd recommend doing this fight if you haven't already gotten here. And that should cover everything. So As always, good luck, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, please subscribe.